Hey, Tiger. Hey, Elusive. How are y'all? Am I 5x5? Can y'all hear me? Good deal. Got a little bit of news for y'all today. Got stuff out of Taiwan, Lithuania, Russia, the US, and Tehran. Figured I'd give it a few more minutes, see if anybody else came in. Hey, Miss Ohio. How are you? Yeah, Elusive. And the most frightening thing to me is what Tehran's saying. And they don't really play. Thank you, Tiger. Things is really stepping up. If y'all see anything going on with the weather, please make sure you put it in chat. That way everybody can kind of keep it up to date. Okay, Miss Ohio, no problem. I've actually had my laptop running for 24 hours straight, trying to get the viewing hours up. I've got it up to almost 70, I think. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I know Susanna was live. I'm not sure if she's still live or not. Mainland China will supposedly have a difficult time launching a full scale invasion of Taiwan over problems that mostly have to do with logistics, according to a new report by Taiwan's defense ministry. The threat assessment was sent to legislators, according to Reuters. If correct, Taipei improves its odds securing a sovereignty against China, whose warplanes have increasingly patrolled the Taiwan Strait in recent months. According to the ministry, China's transport capacity is currently restricted. However, the nation's military strongly defends ports and airports, and they will not be easy to occupy in a short time. Land and operations will face extremely high risk, the ministry wrote. Those that manage to land would then need to be resupplied not only with weapons but also with food, medicine, and other necessities. The nation's military has the advantage of the Taiwan Strait being a natural moat and can use joint operations, cutting off the communist military's supplies, severely reducing the combat effectiveness and endurance of the landing forces, the ministry declared. The ministry also believes that China must keep some of its own forces close by to deal with foreign forces coming to Taiwan's aid, aside from U.S. and Japanese bases near the self governed island. China should also pay attention to fractious areas of China's border, including those with India and the South China Sea. Guys, it's looking more and more every day like, this is on come to fruition. I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it won't. I just know it looks like it. A lot of people are saying that China will probably wait until after the Olympics. But what better way to distract the world than have them watch one hand while you coming around to deck them with the other one? A lot of people pay attention to the Olympics. I'm not really one for watching unless it's gymnastics, but to each their own. Let's see. Let's get it where it'll scroll here. Lithuanian diplomats leave China's relation. I swear to y'all, my YouTube has a mind of its own when it comes to my phone. Lithuanian diplomats leave China's relations sour over Taiwan. There's been a lot of diplomats leaving from China. And usually that's a prelude to, some kind of conflict. I mean, we've seen it, in history for hundreds of years that the diplomats usually leave out, before some kind of armed conflict. This is from it's on Yahoo News. If y'all want to look it up, y'all more than welcome to. This is they got this from Reuters. Lithuania's diplomatic delegation to China left the country on Wednesday in a hastily arranged exit. I'm tongue tied again. Sources said as relations soured further over Taiwan, which opened a de facto embassy in Vilnius last month. Beijing, which has stepped up pressure on countries to sever relations with the island, downgraded diplomatic ties with Lithuania in November after Taiwan opened a representative office in the Baltic state's capital. Lithuanian authorities said on Wednesday they had summoned their top diplomat back from China for consultations and that the embassy would operate remotely for the time being. A diplomatic source told Reuters a group of 19 people comprising embassy personnel and dependents left Beijing en route to Paris. Another diplomatic source familiar with the situation called their departure a response to intimidation. China's foreign ministry did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Of course they didn't. Like most countries, Lithuania, a European Union member state, has formal relations with China and not self-ruled and democratically governed Taiwan, which Beijing, hey ghetto, how are you, hon? Which Beijing views as its territory. I mean, like I said, usually, hey Von Eric, how are you, hon? Blessings on you. Like I said, usually when the embassies and all go to, moving their people out, it's a prelude, to something major. And going up against China is not a good thing. I mean, they've been building their army again for years and years. It's just like the Russia had. Russia, not the Russia. But here's a shocker. This is out of Russia. Russia last week announced a major new energy cooperation deal with India that threatens the very core of the US's fight back strategy against Beijing and Moscow's expansionism in the Middle East and beyond. Hey, Monique, how are you, hon? China really would kick our butts. I mean, we have a weak administration in office, and it's sad. We're supposed to be this big, bad, democratic nation, and it's falling to pieces. The main hydrocarbons deal will be for Russia via oil giant Rosneft to supply almost 15 million barrels of crude to Indian oil by the end of 2022, given the massive geopolitical ramifications of any sizable oil deal. It was entirely legitimate for Igor Sheen, Rosneft, chief executive officer and close friend of Russian President Vladimir Putin, to say of the deal that the signing of a new oil supply contract confirms the strategic nature of the long-term partnership between Rosenfeld and Indian Oil. I'm doing good. So far, so good. I've got about 17 more minutes before I'm officially off the clock. but the guy's doing good, so I should be good. Oh, I understand that, Monique. It seems I can't talk very well today. But India making a deal with Russia is kind of concerning. India's pretty much been one of our biggest allies for years. And now they're making deals with one of our biggest enemies, that's been our enemy for seems like forever, since I can remember anyway. Okie dokie. Now we're on to Harvard. Yippee! And I remember this from when this was first reported. But now the guy's actually caught. Harvard professor charged with lying about China ties goes on trial. Harvard professor was charged. Let's see. A federal jury was selected on Tuesday in the trial of a Harvard University nanotechnology professor accused of lying to U.S. authorities about his ties to a China-run recruitment program and concealing funding he received from the Chinese government. I believe it's mostly China, Monique, but Russia and China has recently, said that they're allies, that they're allied in standing against the U.S. And for them two to, team up against us is really, really not good. The Boston jury will return on Wednesday to hear lawyers delivering open statements and the trial of Charles Lieber, an ex-chair of Harvard's chemistry department, charged in the highest profile case to result from a U.S. crackdown on Chinese influence within universities. Lieber, 62, has pleaded not guilty to 6 false statements and tax charges. His lawyer, Mark Mukasey, has said Lieber didn't hide anything and he didn't get paid as the government alleges. That could very well be true, Monique. It very well could be. Russia's always, kept mum on a lot of stuff, a lot more than the U.S. has. But, back when this was first talked about, there was a lot of people within these universities, and I'm talking about major universities. Harvard is one of our biggest Ivy League schools. Hey, JH, how are you, honey? And the U.S. really, they claim that they want to crack down on these people. I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, what we got now? This is out of London, England. There's a lot of civil unrest that's going on in a lot of countries, just not just here in the U.S. MSM is not talking about the unrest and the protests that are going on. We're talking Austria, all over Europe, Germany, of course, Australia. Hey, Doc Mac, how are you, honey? Hey, Huckleberry, how are you? They do, Monique. They really do. Yes, ma'am. I seen that. I was looking for it. There's a lot of countries that's doing it. I mean, there's even certain people, certain places here in the U.S. that's doing it. Oh, I understand, Ghetto. Hi, Jilly. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you subbed, honey. My name's Georgia Peach, or you can call me Wendy, whichever. Hey, Shift Kicker, how are you, hon? But, Ghetto, keep us updated on the weather, if you don't mind. I'm glad you caught me too, Doc Matt. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30. Unless, something comes up and I have to switch time, but I'm always here on those days at some point in time. Occasionally, I will do a pop-up live. In England, the Prime Minister now talks about compulsory jabs, just 6 months after proclaiming Freedom Day from the virus restrictions. In Germany, the new chancellor has endorsed barring unjabbed people from much of the public. Next door in Austria, the unjabbed will remain confined to their homes even after the government lifts a lockdown on Sunday. Across Europe, democracies, the latest wave of the sickness. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it, around all these little trigger words. It really is, Monique. And all these other countries, what happens there eventually makes its way over here. Only this time, many of the rules single out those who are unjabbed. That has stirred angry street protests and rekindled a searing debate over how much countries should curtail individual liberties in the name of public health. Some of the most abrupt reversals are occurring in countries where the laws and cultures cherish the sanctity of personal rights, excuse me. In Britain, Minister Boris Johnson's new measures kicked off a mutiny, excuse me, in his Conservative Party, with lawmakers calling his embrace of jabs, passes discriminatory and an affront to the country's hallowed principles, similar to protest in echo in France and Germany. Hey, Miss Virginia, how are you? Oh, wow, Monique. So you got a lot of people over there. Hi, Scrimshaw Rose. How are you, hon? I'm glad to see everybody in here. The backlash plays out vividly every weekend on the streets of Vienna, where tens of thousands of protesters march, some brandishing placards that say, "Control our borders, not our people." Demonstrators have also clashed with police over restrictions in Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands. Y'all hear me talk a lot about patriotism. Um, part of being a patriot, standing up for our constitutional rights as well as our personal beliefs. Y'all seen my black flag hanging on my wall in my room. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the perfect patriot. But there comes a time when we have to draw a line in the proverbial sand. And I believe that time's coming very, very shortly. I see that, Ghetto. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. But we have to stand for what we believe in. We have to fight for the people that cannot fight for themselves. Look at the 27 airmen that was released from the Air Force yesterday for standing up for what they believe in. I hate to hear that, Monique, but I fear that, that is the truth. And I see the U.S. going, pretty much the same way. Thank you, Ghetto. Thank you, JH. I try to bring y'all the news and, I watch other channels and I try not to step on their toes. Hey, Miss Susanna. Thank you. How are you, honey? Which I seen you a while ago, or I was listening, but Bug Dude. This news comes from out of all places, the Tehran Times, which is, a newspaper over there. In which there's always been a big conflict between Iran and Israel. Mainstream media does not really talk about it. There's not a lot of channels on YouTube that talks about it. I caught this article off of the Watchman YouTube channel, and I was looking at it, and I was like, because I know not everybody follows Eric. And I said, well, let me bring this up, at 5:30. And I'm going to flip the camera around because I want y'all to see this map. But I'm going to read to you um a little bit of the article first so y'all, kind of get an idea of what we're discussing here, what I'm showing y'all. An intensification of the Israeli military threats against Iran seems to suggest that the Zionist regime has forgotten that Iran is more than capable of hitting them from anywhere. The Ayatollah, and I know that's not pronounced right. Usually I can pronounce it. Oh, that sounds good, Susanna. The Ayatollah newspaper said on Tuesday that Israel's strike on Syria is a direct message to Iran. The chief of staff of the Israeli army has also accepted to increase the number of troops in the Air Force and the intelligence branch of the Israeli army to prepare for an attack on Iran, according to the Israeli media outlets. Guys, for years, the Israel and Iran's been, lobbing missiles back and forth at each other. This is that's nothing new. But I want y'all to see the immense numbers of sites that Tehran has already, decided to strike. So I'm going to turn the camera around so y'all can see. No, it's kind of small. Let me see here. But, that's just part of the country right there. I don't know why I can't get this. There we go. There's a full view. But look at how many red dots there is. And guys, this is, God's chosen nation. And Iran is ready to strike every one of them. They say Israel is God's time clock. And honestly, the Bible tells me that, and I believe it. Lord, turn the camera off, Wendy. Y'all don't need to see my nasty ports. But I honestly, the red dots, Miss Virginia, is the locations that Tehran or Iran, whichever way you want put it, they have chosen to strike, that they can strike at any moment. They really do, Monique. The two countries has always hated each other. It goes back to, biblical times. Yeah, Virginia, it threw me for a loop. It really did. And, you know, I think more so this is what we should be watching. I'm not saying we shouldn't be worried about, the China and Taiwan and the Russia and Ukraine and NATO. Right? Tiger, I'm coming to your house. I think I'm gonna have leftover homemade hamburger helper for supper. But and which that's my favorite. I prefer that to the boxed hamburger helper. That way I can add my own ingredients and it tastes right. But I had a squirrel moment. But really and truly it is, what to watch. Because the Bible states, that it's the for lack of a better way of putting it, because I do not want people to think I'm anti-Muslim because I'm not. I believe that everybody should believe in whatever they want to believe in. But the Bible states, and Von Erich, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you pretty well up to snuff on this stuff. But the Bible talks about the Muslim countries, attacking Israel. It's in Ezekiel 38 and 39. So, but, you know, God's hands on deliver Israel from the attack. He's going to protect them. Oh no, Bug. It's actually it's in the low 60s here right now. It's supposed to drop down to I think the low 50s or the high 40s tonight. I'm not sure. But a good site to stay up to, or not site, but YouTube channel to stay up on this stuff is Off Grid, with Paul and Adriana, as well as New York Prepper. New York Prepper will refer you to Off Grid Farming as well. And of course, the Chihuahua decides he wants to chime in there. I did upload Scrappy. Come on, Dada. You could do it. I did upload my first attempt at a intro video. Oh no, Doc. Please be safe. I worry about my YouTube family, going through all this. I've been through tornadoes. They just weren't on the ground. They were still up in the air. Where'd the board go, Dada? Come on. Come on. Look, I would rather go through a hurricane than I had a tornado any day. I missed something. Ah, I've seen, where we're running short a little bit on the dog food, but we're still able to kind of get what our our dogs eat. So, you sure about that, Ghetto? No, Keebler sells chocolate peanut butter cookies. Them things are awesome. You scared me there for a minute, Doc. Horton's my last name. Hey, I had a blonde moment. Ooh. Thank you, Shift Kicker. Thanks for coming in and subbing, hon. They are good, Scrimshaw. They really are. I definitely enjoy it, Shift. Even though the storms, are, far off from me, I still worry. I try to, when I go in my room, I'll probably pull up Ryan Hall on the TV, and kind of keep an eye on it. And the name of that channel is Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adriana. What state's that in, Doc? I'm just being curious. I hadn't looked at the radar in the last little bit. I'm glad Ohio. We had rain come through Saturday, I believe it was, but it wasn't, you know, he does bug. Oh, okay, Tiger. I know there's a lot of y'all in Missouri and Arkansas and all. Oh, wow. But that's what we prep for, is being prepared for natural occurrences or man made. I know that don't make it any more, you know, better, but it's the truth. Missouri's a state I've never been to, but my ex husband was actually from Missouri. This is my oldest daughter's dad. But yeah, definitely keep the weather updates coming. I don't think anybody else is live right now. If somebody decides to go live, just let me know, and we'll cut it. Oh, my life's windy every day, Doc. Every single day, and I mean spelt like that too. I kicked my own self out my own string. I would never blame, a state for that. I promise you. I'm glad, Ohio. We have them coming up um, this upcoming year. We have it for the governor's race. And unfortunately, Stacey Abrams is running again. That woman couldn't find her own way out of a wet paper sack. Her and AOC should really and truly be twins. No, I haven't went that far. I've got my phone plugged into my laptop, letting it charge. Because StreamYard seems to drain the battery pretty quickly. But I'm not sure who's going to be running for Republican. If it's Brian Kemp, I'm just not going to vote at all, probably. No, I will vote because a friend of mine, his wife is running for governor. So, of course, I'll be voting for her. She has good morals and
I didn't see it in the truck. Okay, Zayden, I said chill out.
sorry about that. Some people don't know how to talk unless it's at the top of their lungs. But as I've said before, when I'm live, there's no telling what you'll hear. I've watched Pilgrim a couple of times. He seems like a pretty cool dude. I don't know why people love to call me when I'm on live stream. They don't want to talk to me until I'm doing something. But that's usually the way that goes. What's everybody got going for tonight? I was wondering the same thing, Ohio. I don't know, Tiger. I don't miss nights like that. I really and truly don't. When I was working, I was more of a morning person. I like the 4 a.m. to 11 a.m. shift or the 4 to 1. Excuse me. Oh, I understand, Susanna. Susanna, would you be interested in the all female panel? And maybe Miss Virginia, Miss Ohio, and Tiger? Oh, I understand that, Tiger. Day shift does tend to have a lot more drama than night shift. Usually, night shift is just pretty laid back, at least around here anyway. Hmm, I understand that, Ohio. The first time I ever got up on a live, I was shaking. I was so scared. Heck yeah, JH, you can come up with us. I think I can have up to 6 people on the stream. Oh, she got to paint her toenails first, Von Eric. No, no wet t-shirt contest. No, You still come up with us, JH. You'll be laid back and chill. However, after a while, I will be doing a video showing my preps that I bought yesterday. I didn't have a chance last night because my youngest daughter had her um Christmas band concert. Awesome. I know usually a lot of people don't go live on Sundays, so we love you, Ghetto. You know that. Otherwise, we wouldn't mess with you as bad as we do. And two, I know it's coming up on Christmas, so everybody's kind of running around like a chicken with their heads cut off. Ghetto was one of the first people, that really talked to me in chats. Come on, Ghetto, you know I'm gonna mess with you. You should know that since last night. Really? Oh, I can understand that. My daughter actually had a low key wedding here on the back porch at my house. As a matter of fact, a friend married them. She got her license online. But weddings do tend to be crazy. That's right, Tiger. I know that's right. He'd be worried if we didn't mess with him. And I'm not sure if Hutch is in chat or not, but I do want to say, Hutch, we're all here for you. You know we all love you. Don't let people get you down. I understand that, Ohio. You know, I get mistaken on other platforms as being a male. I have women hitting on me all the time, and I'm like, dude, what? Oh, I love me some ghetto too, ghetto. Hey, was. Oh, I see your bedroom shoes. They cute. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Yeah. Mwah. No. You need to go back inside. It's cooling off, okay? I love you. He was upset last night, and that kind of upset me because Hutch has got a very, very big heart, but he don't take no bull crap off of anybody. Bug, at least Ohio don't get half the crap that Idaho does. I hope not. Hutch just likes to mess with you about his feet ghetto, that's all. Poor old Zach had all of us about to die laughing last night. But yeah, I, when the wind picks up here, it kind of worries me, especially if it's blowing real hard and then all of a sudden it just goes quiet. If that's the issue, you best better believe I'm getting inside somewhere. The last time we had tornadoes, he was funny last night, Vaughn. Last night, Lord, the last time we had, real bad tornadoes, uh, I was at my dad's. I was living at my dad's at the time, and the our phones went to going off because out there where my dad lives at, there's no warning system out way out in the country, and my phone went off, and which it done woke me up from all the frequent lightning, and the phone started going off, and I jumped up out the bed. And my oldest daughter was right there at the room door when I slammed the room door open, and I looked at her. I said, "Get out the way. I gotta get to my daddy." And she said, "Mama, you like ran over me." And then I wound up having to go to work an hour later, and the storm's still raging. I almost called them that day and told them I couldn't come in. And then when I got to work and the managers found out, that the tornadoes was about 5 miles from me, they hollered at me for even going into work. Y'all give me just a minute. I'll be right back. There we go. Oh, wow. Our butter here is like 99 cents a box. But that's store brand or Walmart brand. You go to Piggly Wiggly, it's higher. I think our nearest Kroger's 45 minutes away. Oh, this is real butter. Oh no, Doc. Please be careful. Yeah. Now my internet's out for me, looks like.
Plenty of trouble, Bob. And I'm not mad, okay?
Wow, that's a lot. Is that is that in the bowl ghetto or is that like the packages with like 4 sticks in it? It is some BS, Tiger, when weather's like that, they shouldn't make anybody go into work. especially with what just happened. I don't know if y'all watch Off the Wild Prepper or not, but he's up in Kentucky now, and he was doing a live from up there in Mayfield, and the devastation's unimaginable. I wouldn't dog you out about that. But usually around here, you can get the tubs or bowls, whichever one you want to call it, because we wound up using the containers like for cereal and stuff. But you can get them 2 for $5. Now they talking about winds in Kansas. I'm watching as my YouTube stuff pops up on my notifications up in the top of my phone. But yeah. And I'll probably be awake most of the night watching the weather. That's a good price, Tiger. Our local grocery store actually has an app you can download that you get very good prices for, certain items. The items change every week. Sometimes you can even get milk for like $1. I think it's on Mondays. And I'm talking about a whole gallon of milk. That's a good idea, Doc, especially if you have room in your freezers. Oh, wow, Amar. That, I mean, it really is getting bad. That's the reason why I always take my purse with me, and I have a good knife on me. Usually I have my knife in my purse and my pocket knife in my pocket. I also have a shop kicker to Getter. It's a pretty good app. And you actually get kickbacks for just walking in the store. I know a lot of times I get emails talking about, you know, there's recall on this, there's recall on that and whatnot.